In 2020, one man put on an orange shirt and roasted a BBC food host. How did the character of Uncle Roger come about? And who's the Malaysian comic behind the act? Nigel Ng was born and raised in Kuala Lumpur. In a YouTube interview with Lad Bible Stories, he said he had a pretty normal childhood. He had friends in school, and they'd often take part in activities like karaoke as a group. Ng is fluent in Mandarin, as his parents are Malaysian Chinese. He is also fluent in Malay, having lived in Malaysia for 20 years before moving to the United States for his college education. As he claimed during an interview with Ivy Niao, the move made him the golden child in his parents' eyes. If you haven't previously heard Ng speak before, the first thing you'll notice watching his interviews is that he sounds nothing like Uncle Roger.
Uncle Roger's accent is very close to how I used to speak growing up before moving to the Western world.
Sure, he still has a little accent or twang that comes up on certain words and vowels, but Ng has a rather neutral accent common among bilingual people who have lived in English-speaking countries for a long time. But when he's speaking as Uncle Roger, he adopts a Hong Kong accent.
Change the walk. Gordon have two walk. Oh my God.
Nigel Ng attended Northwestern University in Illinois to study engineering with a minor in philosophy. But he wasn't just learning about coding and data science in college, he was also discovering comedy. He told Ivy Niao, "I started at university and then I realized I was quite funny at parties." Then he found a student organization for stand-up comedy at Northwestern and signed up. It was around this time in 2011 in his freshman year that he first realized he wanted to do comedy. He told Wired, "At an open mic at a coffee shop, you just went on stage. Nobody was listening, people are just on their laptops, and I got a few chuckles at my first gig. That gave me enough delusion for me to keep going." Those few chuckles proved inspiring. Ng liked being on stage and getting immediate feedback and energy from his audience. In the end, he changed his career, but comedic success didn't happen right away. In 2015, Ng moved to London and found a job as a data scientist at a startup company. In an interview with Talks at Google, he admitted to being a self-taught data science professional. Ng said he actually enjoyed the work, but it didn't stop him from doing stand-up comedy shows on the side. As Ng's side gigs became more frequent, people from his full-time job were no longer okay with him taking so many days off. That's when he thought to give comedy his full attention. In September 2019, Ng took the plunge, but the timing couldn't have been worse.
And then I went full-time stand-up September 2019. So 6 months before COVID hit and closed everything down.
With everything closed down and everyone on lockdown, Ng found himself in a difficult and scary position. He was unemployed, and he only had 10 months worth of savings left in the bank. It was time to get creative and give social media a try. In 2020, Nigel Ng and fellow comedian Evelyn Mok hosted the podcast Rice to Meet You, a show centered on Asian experiences in the modern world. It was Mok who first came up with the idea of a middle-aged Cantonese uncle named Roger. Ng developed the character further into Uncle Roger, describing him as, quote, "this middle-aged curmudgeon uncle who just complains about everything." What inspired the orange shirt? Ng asked his friends to text him photos of their dads and noticed that they liked to wear bright-colored polo shirts. On July 8, 2020, Ng uploaded the video that brought him global fame. The video highlighted parts of a BBC video featuring Harsha Patel that are bizarre from an East Asian perspective, and for which Uncle Roger gave scathing but hilarious commentary.
What's she doing? What's she doing? Drain the... Oh my God! You killing me, woman!
The video went viral across social media, especially among Asian audiences. Uncle Roger was a fresh concept, and reaction videos at that time were just gaining traction. He was the right mix of sarcastic, rude, and funny, and audiences loved him for it.
Who cook rice like this? How did this woman get on BBC Food?
Seeing the success of the highly viral egg fried rice reaction video, Nigel Ng released more videos of Uncle Roger reacting to people doing outrageous things while cooking. He also roasted celebrity chefs and food content creators, criticizing how they cooked fried rice and other Asian dishes.
He messed up rice so bad, even his hairline trying to escape from him.
Fortunately, many took being on the receiving end of Uncle Roger's spicy reviews in stride. Some even got to collaborate with him in later videos. Harsha Patel herself became a two-time collaborator of Uncle Roger's. They recorded their first video at Patel's apartment where she cooked fusion egg fried rice for Uncle Roger. For their second video, Uncle Roger toured Patel around Chinatown. Gordon Ramsay is another famous chef that Uncle Roger loves to roast.
Oh my God! Seaweed into boiling water. What you doing, Gordon?
But he calls Ramsay Uncle, a title of honor, because he usually gets his Asian recipes right. Ng expressed his admiration for Ramsay's genuine respect for other cultures and willingness to learn from local cooks in past interviews. He finally met Chef Gordon in 2024 and appeared as a guest in one of his videos. Jamie Oliver, unfortunately, is on a different boat. Uncle Roger hasn't liked him ever since he watched the British chef add chili jam to his egg fried rice.
Putting jam in rice. This is disgusting. Who put jam?
As Uncle Roger's following grew, so did the opportunities for Nigel Ng to finally stretch his comedic legs. He returned to stand-up comedy, sometimes doing skits as Uncle Roger, but more often going on stage as himself. In 2022, he teamed up again with Evelyn Mock to make the sketch show East Mode with Nigel Ng for Comedy Central UK. As wonderful as it is to be Uncle Roger, there were limitations as to what he could do, and Ng had more to show his audiences. The show gave him the opportunity to be creative. Some episodes are parodies of movies and TV shows, others are satires about Asian parenting, corporate work culture, racial stereotypes, and other topics.
I had money, I had women, cars, houses.
I had everything. Except my father's love.
Each episode is 2 to 4 minutes long and a standalone sketch. There are episodes where Ng is only a supporting actor, and in others, he doesn't appear at all. The episode The Last Donut, for example, had an entire office floor of actors, and the two main characters, none of whom is Ng, did some funny, super cool action sequences.
We are doing a little photo shoot later for the website, and just looking for somebody with a bit more colour.
These episodes showcased Ng's acting skills, and fans saw him as they never had before. Uncle Roger was a far cry from the suave Christian Wong in 50 Shades of Wong, and Bibliophile Will and Crush Landing on You. The series has sadly ended, but the episodes are still available on Comedy Central UK's YouTube channel. It turns out that 2022 was a great year for Nigel Ng, because not only did he have a YouTube series, but he also went on a world stand-up tour. Named after one of his trademark Uncle Roger expressions, the Hiya World Tour became a highly anticipated show. The world looked forward to seeing Ng in person, and on stage as himself and Uncle Roger. He toured all over the UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and of course Asia. He went to Thailand, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, and Malaysia. He also brought his tour to Europe, including Denmark, the Netherlands, and France. Many of his venues were sold out, and the demand in some cities was so high that they had to add additional shows. In total, he did 117 shows in 20 countries, performing for over 100,000 fans in over a year. The tour was also picked up by Hulu, and in 2024, Nigel Ng The Hiya Special became available for streaming. While Nigel Ng was on his world tour, some of his jokes didn't land well with some people, and in one instance, they didn't land well with the Chinese government. In a clip from May 2023, Uncle Roger interacts with a Chinese audience member.
China, okay, China, good country, good country. Good country, good country.
He then made jokes, saying "One China" after confirming that Taiwanese nationals were in the audience.
We have to say that now, correct? All their phone listening, all their phone listening.
His audience loved the jokes, but there were consequences. That very weekend, Ng's Weibo and Bilibili accounts were suspended, and he has since been banned from both platforms. Weibo and Bilibili are the two biggest social media platforms in China, where Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram are unavailable due to the government censorship. In September 2024, Ng opened Fuyo It's Uncle Roger, his very first restaurant in Kuala Lumpur. Ng invited a Guinness World Records adjudicator on opening day as he attempted to challenge 3 world records: the largest gathering of people dressed as Uncle Roger, most fried rice tossed and caught in a ladle in 30 seconds, and most eggs cracked with one hand in 30 seconds. He successfully broke 2 of the 3 challenges and is now officially a 2-time Guinness World Record holder. Ng wrote on Instagram, "Never in my life would I expect this to be a reality. 4 years ago, I was just a comedian making silly videos in my apartment, and now I have a fried rice restaurant that's going to get roasted by everyone." Ng has since opened branches in 4 more locations in Malaysia. He hopes to grow Fuyo into a successful restaurant chain and eventually expand to other countries. For many years, Nigel Ng had kept quiet about his romantic relationships and only hinted at a previous breakup in his earliest Uncle Roger videos. He would reference an Auntie Helen who supposedly left him for many funny reasons, a joke that he later said was based on a real-life relationship. In episode 104 of Rice to Meet You, Ng referenced his previous wife, and he and Evelyn Mock joked about how his ex-wife's La Crusade lasted longer than his marriage.
Your marriage might not hold, but Le Creuset will.
In May 2023, Nigel was spotted holding hands with a lady on the subway. Ng continued to be quiet about the matter until the following year, when he uploaded photos of him with an unnamed lady on Instagram. However, it wasn't until February 14, 2024, that he finally uploaded a proper photo of himself and his girlfriend Sabrina, officially making their relationship public. Finally, in March of 2025, Ng and Sabrina announced their engagement.